to miss those.
Yes.
When they're winning
I
season.
won't.
Yeah. He's been, there are times when we interview him where it's torture. But there are times where he's somewhat,
And you never know when those moments are going to be because, and this year they have been fewer and further between because of the 12-0 status of the team.
Right, and the happy ride.
Yes. The team is still ascending.
Yes.
But yes, there are some moments, and as those in the media can have experienced, and those that sometimes painfully watch have experienced, that there could be some awkward exchanges.
Yes. It's weird what Winning does. It's like his interviews, I don't know if people watch him, with Brad Galley on Channel 7. They usually do them in the
Glick Fieldhouse.
So, but every once in a while, Harbaugh will pull something out of his hat, basically.
Throw a curveball.
Yeah. So yesterday they're walking to Glick. He goes, Brad, let's do something different. Let's go to my office. So we just interview in his office, and I haven't seen it yet, but Brad says he was going through every picture and what it means and all this kind of stuff. He's a bizarre guy. That's the word I would use to describe Jim Harbaugh.
I think some of it's an act just to mess with you guys and other media.
Some of it.
And maybe it's unnecessary, but he's certainly different than he was a couple years ago.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And you know what? His team is different. His program is different than it was a few years ago, where you had guys like me and others who, wanted him gone after 2020 for a variety of reasons.
Remember, I didn't.
I know.
I held the man is an excellent head coach.
There's no doubt. I thought that he had lost his focus. Whatever. He has proved that he's proved once again he's done a really good job.
It just took longer to get there.
Right. But here's the question I have. 248-539-9797. What do you, whether you're a Michigan fan or whatever, just a college football fan, what do you think is the main reason he turned it around? 248-539-9797. Here's Chris Villar.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Sports headlines. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by CGC Water Treatment. Wings coach Derek Malone says that he's excited to see how his team responds to last night's loss. They fell 4-2 to a Cup contender, the Maple Leafs, not being able to score on their power plays or capitalize on an abundance of shots on net. The coach said he believes a good building team would respond on Wednesday after a good practice today. It was Detroit's first loss since the middle of the month. Hoping to get some more talent back on the field, the Lions getting ready for their Week 13 matchup against the Jaguars next weekend. As for rookie Jameson Williams and pass rusher Romeo Okwara, Coach Campbell said it would be a long shot this week, but wouldn't rule it out.
Man, I think that would be a tall order. Anything's open. I think we need to see them be able to pull quite a few reps with high intensity and contact and versatility and whatever the job description would be. So I think, I don't want to say it wouldn't happen, but it would take a lot, I think, this week to feel good about bringing them up.
The team also placed Charles Harris on injured reserve and signed James Houston to the 53-man roster. They expect to get Jonah Jackson and Jeff Okudah back this week. Former Michigan starting quarterback Cade McNamara seeking a new team as the Wolverines head back to Indy under J.J. McCarthy. McNamara entering the NCAA transfer portal after 3 seasons at Ann Arbor. And Miguel Cabrera confirming yesterday that 2023 will be his final year in baseball. He has not decided if he'll remain in the game in some capacity, for example, as a coach. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Thank you, Chris. 248-539-9797. Dan Campbell will join us at 7:35. So Jim Harbaugh obviously has done a marvelous job the last 2 seasons, turning it around from a guy who got a lot of wins, except for the COVID year, but not big enough wins.
Right, not the big wins, not the ranked wins, not the ranked wins on the road.
Correct.
He's checked all those boxes by this point.
Yes, he has.
Except one.
Yeah. So the question I was discussing is what's the main reason that things have changed in Michigan, especially with him? And I think it's it's tough to figure out one reason, but if I have to pick one, I think that he finally realized that he needed to change his staff. And I think the changes that he made the staff with Mike Hart and, well, it was Mo Lindquist first and then he left.
Yeah,
Klingscale, Bellamy.
Mike Elston.
Well, yeah, that was for this year, but even before last year, Mike McDonald, younger guys that more of the players could identify with. It wasn't and I think that changed the whole aspect of the program, having inject some youth and some new ideas. And the other thing which sets up, he has become more of a CEO than an actual head coach. He's not like Bobby Bowden was at the end or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, he's still hands-on.
Yeah.
But he is more of a CEO than he used to be.
He's gone the Lloyd Carr method, where he's got an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and he lets them handle that side of the ball. Right. And doesn't necessarily, I mean, he's still part of the game planning. He's still part of, talking to the quarterbacks and, tips here and there, but he lets Matt Weiss coach the quarterbacks. He lets Matt Weiss and Sharon Moore call plays on Saturday. He lets, last year Mike McDonald and this year Jesse Minter have full reign and control of the defense. And he is obviously directing how you're going and recruiting players,
right,
and the talent that they're going to get. He's hiring all of those different coaches. And I think to your point as well, I was going to say it's the assistant coaches. And I would even go back even further and say he's never been afraid to make changes. Now, some of those changes weren't always the best ones. Some of them took a little while. And with Don Brown, we loved the aggressive style, but it wasn't working when it mattered most. It wasn't working to start the season off against Notre Dame. It wasn't working at the end of the season against Ohio State. So eventually, and it took a little bit of time, he made a change. It was the offense. Hey, you go through a bunch of different offensive coordinators and line coaches, and he finally said, I'm not calling plays anymore. I'm going to bring in Josh Gaddis. Now, that took a couple of years, but obviously Josh Gaddis was the coordinator last year when they went to and won the Big Ten championship, went to the college football playoffs. Coach Gaddis leaves, and he doesn't say, well, things are going well, I'm going to take over again. No, he promotes Matt Weiss, along with Sharon Moore, was co-offensive coordinator last year as well. Right. And to your point, is the CEO of making sure everything operates smoothly. And I think there's been a shift in recruiting as well. The type of individual that they're recruiting, and I mean, you would know this because you've had a number of guys from the school that you announced go to Michigan, and Donovan Edwards, Makari Page had great games on some big moments on Saturday.
Coming next year,
right? But it's not necessarily trying to match star for star with other programs. It's a matter of how does this individual fit into our program? How does, can we develop, is this 3-star? Do we think he's really a 4-star and we can develop them?
Correct.
They're developing players at a better rate and a better level.
He wouldn't put on the signing with the stars or any of that stuff now that he did in the past when he first got here.
Right.
That'd be fair. All right, 248-539-9797. Let's say good morning to Tim in Springfield. You're 97 on the ticket.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'll get to your question. I think it was getting rid of Don Brown. I don't know all the ins and outs like you guys do, but I just seem to think something changed a couple years ago. But I have a question for John. I called, it was probably last week or the week before. I grew up outside of Columbus, Ohio, wore my Rob Lytle jersey to school every Friday. Very proud, and I'm kind of cutthroat when it comes to Michigan. They got the ball back at the very end of the game, and I don't know if this went through your mind, John. I don't know, what was it, a minute 30, 2 minutes left, and they got the ball back and ran it out. Hang 50 on them. Did that go through your mind at all? I'll hang up and listen.
It did not go through my mind. I know that the whole conversation about, Ryan Day said, I'm going to hang 100 on him. And that was, we got to ask the question, did that change the rivalry? Well, and you made the point, there's no audio of that.
Correct.
And it was said, I believe, in to his team.
Yes.
And so obviously it leaks out at some point, but there's a lot of things that you say to your team, and I'm just going back on the play-by-play. Yeah, they got the ball back with 1:37 at the end of the game, and at that point it was just take a knee. And I understand running offensive plays and trying to score 50 on them. However, there is a great feeling and of the players on the field of victory formation.
And by the way,
And taking a knee, saying, you know what, we are going to show you some mercy. We could, but we're not going to.
by the way, what a class move having Blake Corum come in for the last snap.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
for me, that's more important for this team to do something like that than to get to some, over 50 and all that. I think you've already won the battle, by the way, when you've given up exactly half 100 in 2 games.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
to me, the karma and just it's almost like it was, I don't know, it was meant to be.
Yep.
That it has hit exactly 50 points in 2 years.
I know, that's pretty funny.
I think the one thing, look, I'm not going to single out Don Brown, the person. I'm going to single out the defensive philosophy. I mean, Jim Harbaugh did bring him in here and went with that philosophy. I think when he decided to go away from Don Brown and change the philosophy, the conversations he probably had with his brother in terms of before bringing in Mike McDonald and the type of defense they've had since, it was a crucial moment. I think, too, he has gone back to who he is as a head coach. He's going to be physical, and he's going to run the football. And that's why he had success with the 49ers. They had good physical defenses, and they ran the ball. And remember, it's like he brought the counter back to the NFL.
Yeah, look, we mentioned yesterday, we talked about Hurts and Sanders, having all those combined yards. The last team to do it was Kaepernick and Frank Gore. And he also, go back to Stanford. Yeah, everybody talks about Andrew Luck. But then you have Gerhardt and that team. They ran the same way. Physical, old school.
Yeah, that was the thing. Andrew Luck, some people didn't realize why he was such a good prospect because he never had the stats that maybe he could have had if you had a high-flying, prolific offense.
Well,
but it was the style of play that he wanted.
Here's something else. And, I mean, I'll ask you guys this. What is the reputation of Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL?
They suck.
Okay, so the one game that you continue to struggle in is Ohio State. So what does he do? He goes and gets NFL-style defensive coordinators, brings them into to Michigan, and Mike McDonald last year from Buffalo, and so now all of a sudden you're running an NFL defense or NFL style of defense to compete with what is a quarterback system that struggles at the next level.
Great point. Terrific point. Here's some ticket text as well. Everybody amplifying. Getting rid of Don Brown is what changed things. He never made adjustments at halftime. He turned it around because of the Ravens defensive internship program. Yeah. Michigan turned it around because he changed up his coaching staff, which is hard to do. Finding players like JJ. He's Harbaugh 2.0. Buying into what Michigan is, that's why it turned around. And you might want to give JJ some credit for keeping that recruiting class with Donovan Edwards and those guys together.
Junior Colson.
Yeah, that was key as well. The interview was great. Oh, thank you. I think he finally decided to forget about the NFL. Seems different now. Go blue. Well, that remains to be seen.
He does seem very comfortable in his surroundings and setting.
Yes, he does.
Look, I think culprit number one was Don Brown and that defensive style, but I'm sorry, I think he also got caught up in the speed and space thing, which goes against who he is as a head coach, philosophy-wise. I do. And I also think when he got Shea Patterson and Don Brown, they made good first impressions. Didn't they? Yeah. And I think it killed him because he got in bed with them and the loyalty extended too long. And Shea Patterson was not a very good quarterback. Okay?
No, he wasn't.
And he never got better. He never got better.
And he didn't work hard enough either. Chris in Shelby Township, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I want to talk about Jim Harbaugh. And you know what? I'm a huge Harbaugh fan. Huge. I love the history he has with the team. I think he's always going to give 100%. What worries me is, I think we beat Ohio State back in February when he came back to Michigan. That worries me that he wants to go to the NFL. And I almost feel like, I've watched all his, press conferences, and let's face it, they're really uncomfortable. Until the last year and a half or so. And it's almost like somebody told him, hey, bud, you need to sort this out if you want to get back to the NFL. that worries me. Like, okay, I listened to all, like, his one this morning with you guys. Like, it was a pleasure to listen to that.
Yep, and used to be torture.
It's not uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable anymore. And that worries me as a Michigan man. Like, oh, man, like, he's, taking the extra step. Because, I mean, some of his interviews, even at San Fran and everything, they were uncomfortable.
Oh, I know.
So, Chris, I'm trying to pick up on your philosophy here. Because he is better with the media, you feel like that is the signal that he's got an eye on the NFL?
Yeah, that's 100%, John. Like, I'm usually pretty good at reading a book by its cover, and I just worry that every interview with the guys in this, everywhere he went, they were all uncomfortable. Like, I never found one that was like Jim laughing and having a good time, and now he looks like he's at peace. But I just worry that somebody told him, Jim, like, you don't do an interview very well at all. Like, you got to sort this out if you want to come back to the NFL. I just think that,
I think you're partially right. I think you're right where people told him you don't do interviews really well, but I don't think it's anything to do with the NFL.
I mean,
I don't think so either.
No, look, the NFL, I still think, especially if they win, their next 3 games, if they play 3 games, it's going to be calling. Whether he wants to deal with it again or not, that's up to him. Our telephone number, 248-539-9797. Dan Campbell at 735.
Hey, I've got some great news for anyone who's been feeling a little self-conscious about their hair loss. Michigan's #1 hair restoration specialist, Dr. Berkowitz from Michigan Hair Restoration, is accepting in-person and virtual consultations. Now, Dr. B has been meeting with a ton of patients who have actually been experiencing something he's calling COVID hair loss. These patients are losing almost half of their hair after they recover, but he's been able to help improve their hair loss and also build back their confidence. And at Michigan Hair Restoration, not only can they regrow hair where you want it, but they can also remove hair that you don't want. They have the only hair removal laser in Michigan with all 3 wavelengths in one handpiece. So call today and make sure you mention 97.1 The Ticket, because you'll save $1,000 with 1,500 grafts or more, and you'll get 0% financing on your hair restoration procedure. For more information or to schedule an in-person or virtual consult, go to MichiganHairRestoration.com today.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
This report brought to you by Comprehensive Urology. 75 northbound at 375 Gratiot Avenue, still closed downtown due to an overnight accident. Drivers can re-enter northbound 75 from Mack Avenue. You can also take 94 as an alternate. If you're already in the backup, you can take the Lodge to 94 back to I-75. Also, as part of this, northbound 75 entrance ramp from Cass Avenue is closed. 75 southbound just after Springwell's new accident blocks the right side, and seen some slowdowns due to construction. 94 westbound between Shook Road and 12 Mile. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Unparalleled insight and opinions for all of the weekend NFL action. Kick off with Boomer and Valenti, Sunday mornings at 9 on 97.1 The Ticket. If you're spending too much of your tailgate party in the bathroom, then it's time to see Dr. Evan Began or one of 50 providers at Comprehensive Urology. For an appointment, call 1-888-UROLOGY or go to urologist.org. See you soon.
Start NFL Week 13 off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Now, doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel, you already have an account, you'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. Just sign up with promo code WOJO if you don't already have an account. Same-game parlay is a perfect way to get an even bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code WOJO if you don't already have an account. And if you do, you're all set. Just sign in to see what you got. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. 3+ legs and a minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Maximum free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum 2022 tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2022.
Listen all season long to 97.1 The Ticket for your chance to win tickets to see the Detroit Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. For more info and to purchase tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com now.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about. Just happy to be here.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's pro time because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVP's Pro Rewards Program terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you. With supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast, even if your symptoms feel mild. Ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Happy holidays. This is Thad Zott with Zott Auto Group and DealsInTheD.com. This week, we're celebrating Giving Tuesday with our partners at Ally to support the Ronald McDonald House of Detroit. Ally has given $10,000, and we're asking for your help, too. You can donate monetarily or with non-perishable foods, which can be dropped off at any one of our 6 locations, including White Lake, where Grunwald will be giving 10-man jam tickets away on Giving Tuesday. Go to the event page at WYCD.com for details.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply. From the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
Dan Campbell at 7:35, 248-539-9797. Talking about Jim Harbaugh and actually what changed for him and Michigan. What's the main reason? A lot of people suggesting getting rid of Don Brown. A lot of ticket texts. Let's try to get to them as many as we can. Maybe not the main reason, but a big reason for Harbaugh's turnaround has been the schedule and the weak Big Ten the last 2 seasons. Okay? I don't think the Big Ten was weak last year. This year
it is, yeah.
Yes. I think at the beginning, Harbaugh was on the right track, and the fumble with the snap and the spot against Ohio State threw him for a loop, and he tried to go more spread with Gaddis and Shea Patterson. After that result, he went back to what he started. So far, he hasn't had the bad luck he had the first 2-3 years. Don Brown, and he stopped making noise for the sake of making noise, meaning Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You guys are saying the biggest difference between Crazy Jim's last 7 years and this year is that he's doing less. He is less hands-on with his team. So the University of Michigan is having a better year without Jim Harbaugh? Is that what you guys are saying?
No.
Just pay a bunch of people around him a bunch of money to do all the work and let Jimmy answer questions like a drunk rooster? Right on. Michigan radio at its finest. No, buddy, you weren't really listening. CEOs are still the head coach.
Yeah.
They just let the coordinators
do their job.
They delegate better.
Well, you heard them in the interview.
They're really good delegators. And heads up, the last time Michigan did win a national championship, their head coach was a really good delegator.
Correct.
And yeah, but he's still running the show.
He's a great leader.
He talked about in the interview with you guys about the decision-making process and going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 34.
Yeah.
He made that decision, not an offensive coordinator, not a defensive.
Correct.
He's letting people do their job, and I would say to that texter more than anything, he's not micromanaging, and maybe he was before.
Jim turned the team around by going back to his roots, philosophy for O-line and D-line. In the past, he toyed with trying to implement the fancy offense spread and hired the wrong coordinators, especially on defense. So instead of matching what Ohio State was doing, he built his team to beat them. Because the lines are so good, the skill players are allowed to be the athletes they are. The lines literally suffocate their opponents and make it difficult for teams to match up. It's what others have called the Harbaugh family offense and defense.
Yeah. When you go back to, what was it, 2015 when they lost to Iowa in Iowa?
Yeah.
And you look
that was 16.
That was 16. Okay, yeah. And you know,
Davion Smith couldn't get out of the end zone. The safety just turned the whole game around that game.
Yeah, and you look at the offensive line for those 3 or 4 years when Jim was first in Ann Arbor. It was an offensive line and defensive line that was kind of relying on the starting five, and one injury was devastating.
We saw when Winovich got hurt.
It was devastating. Yeah. And now you look at the offensive line this year and even last year. You cycled in last year 4 different guards, and they were very effective. This year they've had some injuries, and they've had 6 different starting lineups, yet the offensive line has performed at an extremely high level. Defensive line wise, they cycle in 10 different guys.
Right. Well, it's funny. I've always not joked, half joking, half seriously. Why would a wide receiver want to come to Michigan? Because they don't throw the ball enough. Conversely, why would an offensive lineman
turn
want to
blinker
go
on
anywhere
with
else?
their ring?
Right.
And then you're seeing it because some of the recruiting stuff from the past week that we're getting from the state of Ohio.
Yeah, and
offensive linemen too.
The development of those guys.
Yep.
With Sharon Moore, I think that was a big-time hire when they got him from Central Michigan as tight ends coach, but then making him the offensive line coach has been huge.
And one of the knocks had been on him about not playing in the portal. Well, he got Oluwatimi.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty cutthroat.
They pick and choose their times.
And they're usually basically graduate transfers as opposed to what other people do. Okay. Well,
yeah, but
I'm just saying.
But it's nitpicking. Okay, the bottom line is he went and got a Kenneth Walker III.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm saying, I was going to say Georgia is very successful. They haven't used the portal at all either. You don't have to use the portal if you don't need to. Changes for Michigan's success. Ohio State changed, got rid of Urban Meyer. Michigan State changed from Mark D'Antonio. From Ed, an unsung hero who deserves a lot of credit is Ben Herbert. I'm sure John can speak to that. Jim was talking about Herbert at the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, and Coach Herbert joined me on the show last night. He's an intense dude. Even in the interview, like I'm standing across from him, he's an intense dude.
His interviews have been awkward, but they are easier to do when you're winning and people aren't calling for your job. Yes, that has something to do with it, no doubt. Jim Harbaugh is different because of adversity. He was humbled. He comes across now exactly like someone that was humbled and now appreciates his surroundings. If Harbaugh wins the national championship, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't end up with the Colts. You're saying Harbaugh seemed like a match made in heaven, 2 weirdos.
I mean, this conversation will go on and on until all the jobs are filled in the NFL. I don't think he's going anywhere.
You know what, though? As much as of a distraction it is, and whether it hurts recruiting or not, you'd rather have it this way because if you weren't doing a good job at Michigan, nobody would be going after you.
Right. Nobody would want you. Nobody would want your assistance. And, I mean, we talked to him about that, and he said, hey, when you are doing well and you hire good assistants, you know that they're going to be hired for head coaching jobs. He's very proud of that.
Absolutely. All right. It's time for it.
So Metallica is coming to Detroit. Right. They're going to be performing 2 nights at Ford Field next year, and 1 ticket will cover both nights.
We don't know costs yet, though, do we?
A double.
No, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So the shows will be on November 10th and 12th, and they're going to be doing this in every single market, playing 2 nights, and they're going to be doing completely different set lists. So there's not going to be any repeats, any overlaps, completely different for each show.
That is, for somebody who likes to go to a lot of concerts for one particular act, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
What dates were they?
The 10th and 12th of November.
Oh, so you got a day in the middle to recover.
Yes,
you got a Saturday to recover. College football Saturday.
That's right.
Because it's in the middle of November, I might be able to make that happen.
Tickets will go on sale at 10 a.m. on Friday, so we'll see what happens there on Ticketmaster channel. So, maybe it would be another conundrum, but
I think they are going to give people, once they say how many tickets they sell, the opportunity to go to one show and on one show only. But
sure, yeah, if they don't sell out.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
So do I.
I think it's really cool. So, 2 former Oxford school board members held a press conference on Monday to reveal some new facts about the actions of school leaders before and after the Oxford school shooting. Tom Donnelly and Corey Bailey, they told the media that policies and guidelines that actually could have prevented the shooting did exist, but they were never actually implemented. They also said that the suspected school shooter should have taken an emotional assessment back in 2020 and also 21. That never happened. And they say they're speaking out now, hoping that other districts can learn a lesson from what happened at Oxford and commit to training on how to prevent these targeted school violence. So they also say there's going to be more info coming out in the days to come. Lamar Jackson, he may have deleted his tweet, but he is still battling over it. So after the Ravens lost to the Jaguars on Sunday, he lashed out at a heckling fan on Twitter, and he made a vulgar tweet to this fan who questioned whether he is really worth his contract or not. And he has since deleted the tweet, but now he's going after ESPN for calling the tweet anti-gay. So he is going after ESPN and also Jameson Hensley.
Wait,
who apparently
I read the tweet.
Well, I cannot technically.
Yes, I think we
technically you could say it might be, but I don't think it was inferred. I don't know he meant it anyway.
No.
He basically said to eat my something. Okay,
Right.
so the person thought, whatever. It's not. I don't think it is.
So he is saying they're defaming his character because they called it anti-gay, and he said that is not at all what he was trying to say in that tweet.
Right.
Yes.
I don't approve of the tweet, but I didn't
take it that way.
No.
And no, neither did I. So something that we use, all of us, actually almost everybody, I would say, use every single day and for the majority of our lives, could actually be very harmful to us. Yeah, so get this. There is this renowned Australian butt doctor.
Oh boy.
Yes, and he just revealed on a podcast that toilet paper could actually be dangerous.
How does...
Well...
Okay, please proceed.
Let's see how I handle this.
Is that talking about Odyssey toilet paper?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Better
that's
you than
very
me try to handle this.
dangerous.
Go ahead, Heather.
So, your skin, your booty skin, is very delicate. And sometimes when we wipe after we go to the bathroom, we're wiping too aggressively. And we're damaging, he actually says, we're traumatizing that skin, that very fragile skin. So he basically says we should readdress how we handle our hygiene after we go to the bathroom. Perhaps we should be using a bidet or water to clean ourselves.
So what? Hop in the shower next to the toilet?
No.
But he did go into some more detail as well about, but whatever. But anyway, I guess just be careful.
So
be
the
gentle.
quality of paper could extend.
Well, he didn't actually go into that, but now that we're talking
so,
about it,
we had that topic a while ago about the flushable wipes.
Yes, John, here's the other deal. Everybody, I think what the doctor is trying to tell us is just wipe slower and softer, not as aggressive. You know?
Be a little more gentle.
Be a little more gentle with that wipe. All right, we're not going to ask Dan Campbell about that, I'll tell you that. Coming up next, we'll talk to the head coach of the Lions, 97.1 The Ticket.
Fall is just around the corner, and you know what comes with that. One of the greatest sports ever. I'm talking about football. All the professional teams and college teams make this the most exciting sport to watch. From the first snap of the game, you're hooked. Every pass, every play, every interception keeps you wanting more. We jump up and cheer as loud as we can every time our team scores a touchdown. There's nothing better. So sit back and enjoy the best time of the year. So throw that burger or dog on the grill and tailgate with your friends to celebrate the greatest sport created, football.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers are changing the game with the bold design and amazing strength of the Chevy Silverado. With 9 models to choose from, Silverado is the perfect tool for all your jobs. If life takes you off-road, there's the first ever ZR2 Silverado. Add in features like the available multi-flex tailgate or 8 available cameras, and you'll be Silverado strong whatever road you travel. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Yeah, check it to see if it's white. PJ Glasser with BetQL. The Bucks and Celtics have separated themselves as the best two teams in the Eastern Conference. Currently, they are both co-favorites to win the East at plus 225. Now is still a great time to jump on the Bucks while you still can. For much of the season, they've looked like one of the best teams in the league, and without one of their best players, Chris Middleton, who hasn't even played yet. Grab Milwaukee at plus 225 before Middleton comes back, and the Bucks are favored to win the East. I'm PJ Glasser, helping you beat the Bucks.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you, with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you a man facing divorce but want to avoid losing your house, your money, and your kids? This is attorney Brent Boyer from ADAM, the American Divorce Association for Men. With our proven advice, we can help you avoid problems before they start. Call us at 248-356-2326. That's 248-356-ADAM.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years, 0 interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Transport the entire family into the magical world of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Live in concert. 2 shows. December 29th, Little Caesars Arena. Millions of fans have made this their must-see holiday event of the season. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra's The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO, and more.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code JOY at checkout. That's harrys.com, code JOY. Enjoy.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
Jared Goff joins Karsh and Anderson Tuesdays at 10:30 on 97.1 The Ticket. It's time for Lions Weekly with head coach Dan Campbell. Brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Good morning, Dan. How are you? How was your Thanksgiving after the game?
Good. You know, just laid low. How about you guys?
Well, John, obviously, going to Columbus, had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and I had some good food, watched the games from home.
Your alma mater had a pretty good weekend as well.
Well, listen, if you you can't go to the next level of the ball game, that's the way to end it. I mean, at least we could beat LSU, so that's the way to end. So.
I was in the stands with my family, like I am every Thanksgiving, watching, cheering for you guys, and I had a great time. And yes, you guys lost the game, and I know that's the most important thing, but I really had the idea that for the first time in a long time at Thanksgiving, I was watching a real football team. And I'm not going to say you guys turned the corner and, any of that stuff, but it's hard to quantify, but do you understand what I'm talking about? I mean, you guys running all over the field, making tackles, making plays. It's like it wasn't like a crappy product.
Sound like the Bad News Bears?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, out there again, it stings to lose, but I was proud of our guys. I thought the coaches did a hell of a job with the game plan, and we knew what we had to do to give ourselves a chance to be in there and have a chance to win at the end. And we did
making you have to go.
It hurts when you're that close at the end, but there was a number of things we had to do to get in that position where we had a chance to win at the end that we can't lose sight of. And kind of what I told the team and everything after the game, I really did feel like that's 4 weeks in a row that we have improved, even though it didn't lead to a win. And that's really what you're looking for, is constant improvement as the season goes.
When you go back and look at the game, obviously from the players, there's things that, whether it was a missed assignment, it was, a pass dropped or a missed read by the quarterback. There's a lot of things that the players can improve upon from a coach's perspective. And you go back and look at different scenarios, like a time management at the end of the first half. Do you look at that and say we should have taken it down to the 2-minute warning instead of running a play on first and goal at the 2, and just go ahead and take more time off the clock so you don't allow Buffalo that time to go down and get a field goal?
Yeah. So here's what transpired with that. Just so the thought was, they had plenty of time. All right, let me answer the question first. Hindsight, when you go back and look at the way that whole thing played out in the sequence, had I known we'd have had that many plays above the 2 minute, we thought we were going to score immediately. That was what the play design was. Because the whole thought process was, let's score as fast as we can here, above the 2 minute, because they had plenty of timeouts to do whatever they needed to do to go down if they were going to score. Buffalo did. They really had control of the game at that point. So to us, it was like, if we score now and we can get a stop, we'll get this ball back and we'll be able to add some more points to it. So it was really like we were trying to gain another possession offensively before halftime against that opponent. Well, that didn't work out because of the fact Vaughn gets hurt and then we throw an incomplete and so, no, it didn't work out the way we wanted, but that was the philosophy behind it. Buffalo, they went all the way down. I mean, they didn't use their second timeout until we had the sack there, to end the half. So really, they just took their sweet time with it anyway. Hindsight, we should have done that, but I didn't have a crystal ball. But that was the philosophy, was let's see if we can score twice before halftime.
And what about at the end of the game? Everybody was focused on the 3rd and 1 call. Was that just a poor execution of the play, or because earlier in the season you've had those same situations, and I think it was against Miami, it didn't work. Did you think of running the ball in that play?
Look, it crossed the mind. It crossed my mind that we run it. You can always run it, get the first down, call timeout. But it was also, you throw it there. The play design is you get a shot to the end zone, but you also have a shallow cross. You got a mid cross that are running away from man coverage, and you catch one of those, you get the first down, and you probably are running right out of bounds, and you still have your timeouts. So you have options is the point. We went. Goff, went with Shark over there, who ran a damn good route and was winning. We just didn't connect. That's just part of the deal. It's part of the game. He was going for the dagger there, and we would have been up by 4 after he kicked the extra point.
Almost shock.
And so, look, it didn't work out, and then now we got a decision to make. And at that moment, we had connected on a lot of 4th downs.
we've converted, but I felt like we did everything we could and scratched and clawed to get ourselves in that position, and it was time to take the 3 because I did feel like we get them into overtime. I felt like we could beat them.
Final question about strategy. It's not a criticism, it's just a question. You elected, and some coaches do, some coaches don't, when you have timeouts, to ice or not ice the kicker. What's your philosophy?
Yeah, I'm not into it really. And if I was going to do it, I would just do it early. I wouldn't wait, I would just go ahead and bang it. But I would rather them just line up and go. I'm not really a big, let them think about it. I think you can go either way with it. If I had some history on a guy that I knew that, man, the more time he has to think about it, it affects him. It was something that happened when he was 17 years old in high school that is, that has forever haunted him, then yeah, I would probably use it. But other than that, I just assume let's go.
Some of the positives. We talk about the younger players, and James Houston, 6th-round pick. You brought him up off the practice squad. I think he had 5 plays, 2 of them for sacks. and I know that he's back on the roster again. Is what in his development caused you to say, or was it just a roster spot that opened up, say we want to give James Houston a look?
Well, I think it was a combination. First of all, I'd say this. James is somebody that's been on our radar for a while now. Honestly, we've been trying to get him up on game day for about 3 or 4 weeks now. And it was just about the time we get ready to do it, we get an injury somewhere else and we can't use the practice squad spot to elevate because we need it for a receiver or, and then you're playing a team that does a ton of base, so you need more of a big end. And it was always one thing or another. Well, with Charles being hurt, and we felt like we had a spot available, it was worth taking a shot, because we do feel like he could deliver a little rush. Now, I wouldn't have known that he was going to go in there and have that production for 5 reps, but I do know this. He shows and pops. He's been popping in practice a lot. When you watch it with your eyes, you're like, man, this kid's got something. And then, Decker and Sewell and Brown and all the offensive linemen are like, when's this kid coming up? That kind of, verifies the fact that what you're seeing is right. He's causing some issues for your starters. So he's been on the radar. We were fortunate to get him up, and he was able to go in there and make some plays. So yeah, he's up on the roster now, and now let's see if we can just let him continue to grow.
Dan Campbell joins us on the Stoney and Jansen program. Another young player. Now he only had 1 catch, but it looked like he was blocking. James Mitchell, man, is he somebody who keeps getting better and better every week?
He does. Mitch is getting better. Mitch is pretty smart. He's a smart, conscientious guy. He works hard, and his is just working through the kinks of being a rookie. It's not easy. That job description, you got to run, you got to run block, you got to pass block, you got to be able to run routes, you got to catch, you got to there's a number of things you have to be able to do. And every week he's gotten just a little bit better. So he continues to grow. He got a few more reps last week, and I see him, every week I think he's going to get a little bit more. That's the way I see it as he keeps going, but he's doing a pretty good job.
With such a young roster and the fact that we just watched the last regular season game of the college football season, yet you guys still have a month and a half, 6 more games to go, how do you keep those guys healthy, tuned in, and understanding that this is a long season? How do you get them adjusted to the length of an NFL season?
Yeah, you know that one well, John. That's for those guys that are rookies, that's a hard one. And add another game to that now. It used to be 16, not 17, just in a regular season. But yeah, here we are. We got 6 left before the playoffs, and for those guys, their season is normally over. I think you got to keep educating them on what this is about, what's coming. You have to talk to them about their bodies, taking care of their bodies. They got to hydrate, they got to recover, they got to treat, they got to get their sleep, the rest, or you got to continue to train properly. And so that, and then, I think that just the nature of the way things are now, I think we have to be smart with the way we practice too. We're getting into the the back end, and we really, I do see us using pads, but I mean we only get about 2 or 3 of them left for the rest of the season. 2 or 3 of those days, and so I think that, and then you start to taper back a little bit as the season gets to the back end. You start tapering off to where you're maybe not in the building as long, but you're still getting your work done. So there's just a few things we can do, and those guys just got to do it.
Sunday, it's Jacksonville. I watched a little bit of them on Sunday. Kind of like yourselves, young team. Trevor Lawrence is starting to play a lot better right now. He's got Doug Peterson as obviously his head coach, who's done some good things with quarterbacks. What kind of challenges do they give you guys?
Yeah, well, I think you just said it. They have a pretty good mix of young players that they've drafted there. They've got some players that they've acquired through free agency over the last 2 years that are pretty good. They're pretty good players in this league. So they've got plenty of talent over there. They're playing real good football. This quarterback's playing over the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's playing pretty good. He's you can tell he's getting better. He's getting a lot more comfortable. I think a lot of it is, for us, we need to come in with a ton of energy and be ready to surpass what these guys bring in that department, and we have to get takeaways. We're going to have to. Look, I think they just played their best game of the season overall, offense, defense, special teams. That was a hell of a win for them. That was a big one. So I think they're peaking right now. I think they're playing the best they've played all year, so this will be a big challenge for us.
How important are these final 6 weeks? There are games where you look at the opponent and say, yes, you could see the Lions going 6-0. You could see a number of different scenarios, but as you look at, in your time here, changing the culture, and we heard, Taylor Decker after, Thursday's game talk about, the SOL moments, or this is not the same old Lions. How important are these last 6 games to reset that standard and continue to develop your culture?
Well, it's like I told them. To me, the most important game is what's coming up. And I don't think you can even talk about these last 6. You have to talk about Jacksonville. Everything that we're about, everything that we talk about wanting to be, where we want to go from here, the improvement, we have to put it, all our eggs have to go into this basket. Everything we have has to go into beating this team that's coming in on Sunday, which is the Jaguars. So that's all that matters. And the only way to start something is, something good is to take care of the one that's right in front of you, and that's these guys coming in. So that's all our focus right now.
Dan, thanks a lot as always. Good luck on Sunday. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Dan Campbell, head coach of your Detroit Lions. Stoney Jansen, 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
This report brought to you by NECA IBEW Local 58. 75 northbound at 375 Gratiot Avenue downtown remains closed due to an overnight accident. You are backed up now from about Verner Highway. You can take 94 as an alternate. If you're already in the backup, you can take the Lodge 294 back to I-75. Still seeing delays 94 westbound from Ship Road to 12 Mile. Put the expertise and skill of NECA signatory contractors and IBEW electricians to work on your commercial, public, industrial, or residential construction project. Productivity and innovation matter. Learn more at Powering.Michigan'sFuture.com. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The latest on the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, and the MLB on the Boston Balls Podcast with Pat Caputo. Get it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
My grandmother gave me a Vicodin for a toothache. That's how it all started.
After my mom passed, I started using to cope with the anxiety and depression.
I had it all, and then I started taking opioids. I lost my job, my home.
I lost custody of my triplets, and I was living on the streets.
These are real people who've struggled with substance use disorder. Stigma is an obstacle for recovery.
There's definitely a stigma. Society views you in a different way.
Like you're disposable.
Putting labels on someone that's struggling with substance use disorder does nothing but put them in a box. Separate the disease from the individual.
Show them their lives matter.
If you're just willing to seek help, Recovery Works, I'm living proof of that.
Now, I have a clothing business.
I'm a soccer mom.
I'm on a local school board.
Recovery begins with we.
Learn more at michigan.gov/opioids. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. At the World Cup today, Team USA faces a win-or-go-home situation against Iran amid a politically charged background. After Iran's players bravely refused to sing the regime's national anthem in solidarity with the protesters back home, the government has reportedly threatened their families with imprisonment and torture if the players misbehave again in Qatar. More in the next hour. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you, saving you hundreds, even thousands with Inflation Buster. For example, if you lock a 7% rate today, you'll only pay 6% for a year. That means more road trips, more date nights, more front row seats every month for a year. And your rate is secured for 30 years. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase, you get exclusive savings when you refinance with Rate Drop Advantage. More home upgrades, more rainy day funds, more cash in your pocket. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Call 833-7ROCKET today or visit inflationbuster.com to start saving. That's 833-7ROCKET or go to inflationbuster.com.
For fees, covered rate, like date requirements, and other terms and conditions, visit inflationbuster.com. Call 1-833-7ROCKET. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
If you run a small business, you need the most from every investment. That's why Comcast Business gives you more. Like more innovation with our new gig speed Wi-Fi. Plus,